Chase Goodbread with NFL.com. I wanted to ask both of you about the new agreement between the AFCA and the NFL, where a handful of underclassmen are going to be allowed to participate in pro days in the spring. What kind of impact, positive, what can that have as far as the draft committee providing better draft grades and helping those players maybe make a better decision in the winter when it's time?
I'll give Coach Saban credit for that, because he actually called me, I guess it was maybe back in the spring, and we actually he put together a conference call, 4 or 5 coaches, and because there are some issues and some problems, and he can speak to it in a little more detail, but it was frustrating. It was frustrating when you have a young man that gets a second round grade and he doesn't get drafted, or it's frustrating when you have a guy that gets a 7th round grade and comes out and goes in the 2nd round. The consistency in the evaluation, it was an area of concern for us as coaches, and and then from the NFL side, it's like, well, we don't have enough time to get the amount of information, and so Coach Saban kind of spearheaded that, and to where, okay, let's let them come in and do some evaluation as juniors. So they have that, and then evaluate those guys throughout the season, because they're technically not supposed to watch them. So I think that it's a good change, and hopefully can, it's sad when you see 100 and something guys come out, and half or almost more than half don't even get drafted, and they're walking away from an opportunity to continue. This is a developmental sport, an opportunity to continue to develop and compete, and the NFL doesn't like it because now their pool for the next year isn't as ready. So I give Coach Saban a lot of credit for that.
And I think the philosophy here is the more information that the NFL can get on players, the more accurate they can be in evaluation. And I think that players are trying to make a business decision after 3 years in school, business decision being, where will I get drafted relative to if I stayed in school, where could I develop and get drafted a year from now and have a better opportunity for myself? Because once you enter the draft, you can't improve your draft status. But if you stay in college, you can improve your draft status dramatically. Well, if you get the right information to start with, you're going to be a 1st round pick or a 2nd round pick that can't really enhance his draft status that much, then you can make a good business decision. But when you get misinformation, which there's probably been too much of, then it makes it difficult for us to give the player the right information, and it makes it difficult for the player to trust that he's getting the right information wherever it came from. Not that he doesn't trust his coach, but the information that he's getting may not be accurate. And I think the whole philosophy here is to try to get the right information so people can make good business decisions.
We're going to go to the far left of the left middle section right there.
Mike Bianchi, Orlando Sentinel. Coach Swinney, talk about your days at Alabama as a walk-on and how that helped make you the man and the coach that you are.
Yeah. I always tell everybody I was a crawl-on. I was one notch below a walk-on. I crawled on the field out there. I had to go through, they didn't just invite me to come out. I had to go through Rich Wingo's weight room program. But it was an unbelievable experience for me. My very first spring, in the fall of '88, I just was in the weight room and, went through this. They put us all in jail today, this program. But to get to go out that spring and be a part of the Crimson Tide was unbelievable for me. Grew up in a small town, and I was the first one to go off to college, and it was, I was one of those kids that watched the Bear Bryant show every Sunday, and every time Alabama was on or on the radio, I was listening. Fight you in school if you talk bad about them, and so it was surreal for me to finally be in the room and to be introduced to the team, and guys that I went on to be teammates with and great friends with to this day. And so at the time, I just wanted to be on the team, and then I just wanted to gain some respect. Then I wanted them to learn my name. And then it was, okay, I want to play. And, I want to get a scholarship. And so it just kind of went from there. And it was an incredible journey for me to be a national champion my senior year, and to be a part of an incredible senior class. And at that time, you know, I mean, Alabama had won a national championship. It's not like now, they win it like every year, every other year with Coach Saban. You know, it had been a long time since Alabama had won a national championship. And so for my last game to be the national championship game and to do it against Miami was just an incredible moment, and something that kind of bonded that group together forever. You know, it's amazing. A few of those guys on my staff that were teammates, and a couple of the coaches that were on that staff. So it's special even to this day. But great, and then to have an opportunity to be a GA. You know, Coach Stallings kept me on as a GA and got my master's there, and then he hired me full time. So ended up, you know, I went to Alabama as an 18-year-old kid, and I left when I was 31. So just an incredible experience, and you know, I wasn't happy to leave. I was mad at the time. I was not happy, but you know, God had a plan for me, and He knew what I needed, and you know, I needed to go. I'd never lived anywhere but the state of Alabama, and to have to pack up my family and move to South Carolina and to Clemson. I mean, it was great for my family, and the grandparents didn't like me very much, taking all the kids away, but it was a great opportunity to you know, kind of have a new chapter and learn different things and be exposed to different things. And now I just finished my 14th year at Clemson, so it's been a blessing all the way through.
We're gonna stay.
I'd like to add something to that, because I think Dabo has done an outstanding job of managing the situation that he's in a very competitive program that he's done a great job in. But he has also been very supportive of his teammates that he played with at the University of Alabama. Coach Stallings, you know, Coach Stallings does a lot to try to raise money to Rise. Dabo comes back. We both sort of try to do everything that we can do to support that and help that. So I really appreciate the way he has, you know, managed his loyalty to his alma mater, but done a great job at Clemson at the same time, and never seems to be in conflict.
We're gonna stay